Hey there. We are attempting to do a couple of videos this week to help illustrate and bring kind of delve into some of the emotions and feelings and thoughts of Passion Week. It is Good Friday, and so I'm going to take on Good Friday today. I want to illustrate it with our middle son, my middle child, Isaac, who is indeed my favorite of the three children that we have. And I'm mainly saying that just to see if the other two are watching this video. Isaac is crazy and unique, and man, he's so much fun to be around. I'll just give you a quick illustration of him. We'd gone to El Toro. We were going to eat chicken fajitas. It was chicken fajita Bertman night at El Toro, and so we pulled in. We were in the parking lot. The rest of our family had gotten out, and he was still sitting in the back seat of the car. And so I stuck my hand in, like, "Hey man, we're going in. We're waiting on you. Come on." And as I did so, I noticed that he is eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And it's important to know that it is July, and we had not been to Chick-fil-A in 2.5 days. And so Isaac was munching on a 2.5-day-old sandwich that had been melting in the back of our car. And so, yeah, he couldn't. I mean, we were literally 30 seconds away from chips and salsa, and he could not wait. So yeah, that's him. He does this thing. First of all, he doesn't listen. He's never listening to anything. He's the last to know anything that's going on in our family because he's not paying attention. And so we could be talking about, hey, we're going to go see a movie. What movie do you guys want to go see? Or hey, we're going to go on vacation. What are your thoughts on this? And he doesn't pay attention. And so until he hears something that he thinks he wants to hear or is interested in, and then he says these two words. And he says, "Wait, what?" All the time this happens. All the time. Not listen, not listen. Wait, what? And as I thought about that phrase, it really illustrates well Good Friday. And so let me read these verses to you from Luke chapter 3, beginning in verse 33. It says, "When they came to the place called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right and the other on the left. But Jesus was saying, 'Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing.' And they cast lots, dividing up his garments among themselves. And the people stood by looking on. And even the rulers were sneering at him, saying, 'He saved others. Let him save himself, if this is the Christ of God, his chosen one.' The soldiers also mocked him, coming up to him, offering him sour wine, and saying, 'If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself.' Now there was also an inscription above him, 'This is the King of the Jews.' One of the criminals who were hanged there was hurling abuse at him, saying, 'Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us.' And then skipping down to verse 44, it says, 'It was now about the 6th hour, and darkness fell over the whole land until the 9th hour, because the sun was obscured, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. And Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, said, 'Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.' Having said this, he breathed his last." Wait, what? Right? You get that? You get that feeling, that thought of like, wait a minute. I can't imagine the disciples whose expectation had been for some time that he would set up an earthly kingdom. And then he was trying to explain to them, like, no, I'm the Messiah. I'm the one who's going to save people from their sin. And they come to this point in history where this man that they had followed was now gone. And I cannot imagine what that must have been like. As I mentioned about Isaac earlier, there's difficulty in the waiting. And there's a lot, I think, that we can learn here. As we think about Good Friday, like you have Good Friday and then Jesus is resurrected on Sunday, and you go, well, why? Well, obviously there's prophecy to be fulfilled there for the Messiah. But what is the reasoning behind that? Was it because Jesus didn't need to like power up, right? Like he didn't need to power up so that he could be resurrected. No, the waiting was not for him. The waiting was for us. I just want to give you a couple things about waiting. Waiting is difficult. It's hard. In the waiting, as we're talking about this particular waiting of the crucifixion to the resurrection of Jesus, there's uncertainty and doubt and pain. There's fear. Waiting is difficult. But waiting can be something else. Waiting is an opportunity for faith. It's an opportunity for faith. It's an opportunity that we have to trust even when we don't see that things are going the way that we think they should, or when we don't see that things are falling like maybe God said they would, because we see with earthly eyes. And so waiting is an opportunity for faith. It's an opportunity for us in a time to experience refreshing. It's a time for peace, a time for hope. It's a time for growth. We're doing a lot of waiting right now, right? Like we're spending a lot of time at our houses with the same people. We're seeing the same people doing the same thing in the same routine every day. We're doing a whole lot of waiting. And so I wonder what you're doing in this waiting, what you've made time for, what you have focused on. I want to encourage you with this. In the time of waiting, as we look at Good Friday and we look at the time spent between then and Jesus being resurrected, God was no less on the throne, no less in control at that point than any other time in history. God is still on the throne. He's still in charge. And so I don't know what it is that maybe you're waiting on, or what moment you have in your life. But know this, God is faithful. He is still in charge. He still reigns. So as we think about Good Friday, we think about, wait, what? But what comes after that is victory in Jesus. I hope you are encouraged by this today. We love you guys. We miss you.